We are indeed here for Na'Vi going up against Epsilon. And as was pointed out at the desk, this is a bit of a rematch of a best of 3 from an earlier Katowice qualifiers. And the maps are the same, even if they're in a slightly different order. And Na'Vi won that one last time around 2-0. So Dean, do you see any chance of Epsilon overcoming that previous loss here today?
I see a chance, but I don't think I see a chance in them actually taking this serious. No, I think they may take a map if they are to take one. I think Cobblestone is their chance. We've seen them actually, I believe, lose 16-13 the previous time. They've had a bit more time now to mesh together, and they've beaten us some good teams on Cobblestone, such as Mouse, Sprout, etc. So they certainly can play that map, but we haven't really seen them much on Overpass, and this is definitely a very solid map for Na'Vi. So I think Na'Vi should at least be taking this one quite easily. I don't think Epsilon will even manage to reach double digits, and I think over on Inferno as well, that likely would be going in favour of Na'Vi if we do make it that far.
Yeah, that's the scary thing as well. Inferno being the decider, that's the map Na'Vi picked last time these two teams played, and they won that 16-7. So I'm not sure Epsilon are going to have the best of chances here. I mean, maybe if they could steal away Overpass, that would be, I think, their best chance to win this series. But I don't know how likely that is. I think Epsilon, you know, they're not great on Overpass, that's the thing. It's not exactly Na'Vi's best map either, but it just seems like Epsilon have barely played this map. They've been shying away from it. It's really hard to see a way Epsilon can win this series, but we're going to have to see if they can prove us wrong, because we're going to head underway for Overpass shortly. And, well, I think we both have Na'Vi as favorites, but maybe if Epsilon get off to a good start, Na'Vi gets slow off the gates, then there could be a chance for Epsilon.
Yeah, certainly. That's something that Na'Vi with this roster seem to have kind of struggled with. If they don't get off to a good start, they definitely can have a bit of a problem. But going into this one now, let's see what's going to happen. Over on the T side, Electronic, the only player to pick up utility. For the CT side, Shaq is going to get the defuse kit. And Smooya, he's gone really aggressive. He's looking to try and take this opening duel. He spots out Simple, and he actually takes himself that headshot. And he should now be allowed to fall back for free, stay alive. And Epsilon early on starting this round off quite strong.
That's exactly how Epsilon would have wanted to start this round. Not only is it Smooya looking hot early on, but he's also taken down Simple. That makes things a hell of a lot easier for Epsilon. However, you can just look at the Na'Vi side and see the depth they have. They still have Electronic alive. They still have Flamey alive, who could certainly do damage. So the round certainly isn't won just yet, but you can see here, out towards A long, Smooya's getting even more aggressive. This is classic Smooya play. He loves going aggressive, getting information, and in the meantime, Na'Vi will be pushing towards B, but the info that Smooya has gathered has allowed a bit of a stack. It's Surreal who gets that first kill, trying to reposition, but Edward is going to push for the trade. And despite there being a fair few players towards B, the B hold doesn't look great, but Smooya could be coming in on the flank here.
Yes, Smooya in a really good position right now. Once that bomb tries to get on for Na'Vi, if they aren't covering this position correctly, it could get scary. Robin able to tap away the head of Edward there also. So a nice find once again for Epsilon as they reclaim the man advantage. And Na'Vi right now kind of just stagnated on this bomb site. They haven't actually been able to get advanced really much further out of the monster position. You see one player does try and wrap around Smooya. Actually surfs along that wall and takes down Electronic. Gets himself a nice headshot. And now it's all onto Flamey to try and clutch this one out. He only has 20 seconds to try and do so. He just has the raid boss with the P250 Kevlar and he gets the first headshot for himself. That will now allow for the bomb to be retrieved. Time it's still getting quite low. Once he tries to put this down, if both of these players just stick together and push it, it could get very, very difficult for Flamey. 6 seconds now remains. Bomb gets tapped. He's not going to stick it. He goes for the fake to try and bait the players out, and he finds the first. You can see Jack, the moment he notices that Flamey isn't actually going for the bomb plant, he's able to just run away. And even with one more player falling, Epsilon do claim themselves the pistol.
And there we go, nicely done from Epsilon. As I was saying, I think the best chance for them here on Overpass is just getting off to a strong start. Maybe if Na'Vi aren't quite fully prepared, they could struggle at the early stages. And Epsilon have, you know, at least fulfilled the pistol round win. So there's a chance for them to get off to a strong lead. However, they do need to make sure they don't lose this round. And remember, Na'Vi are always dangerous. Even with the Desert Eagles, they have plenty of players that could do damage. So Epsilon certainly cannot afford to underestimate Na'Vi in this round. We are going to see the pistols spread out early on. I think a few times I see teams when they have the CZs not go for pushes together, and I get a bit frustrated. But with the Deegs, it makes more sense. You're trying to play for picks. And Na'Vi, they're not really going to find too many chances early on. Zeus chunked down low. And now they're going to finally group up for a seemingly A-site push.
Yeah, still a decent amount of utility left. There's a smoke, a Molotov, and also 3 flashes available for the Epsilon players. And Smooya getting extremely aggressive is going to actually be able to spot that bomb out. A lot of info now obtained. Zeus falls and the man advantage goes in favor of Epsilon. As Navi right now, seems like they've cancelled that long push at least for the moment. Going back to retrieve this bomb together. Trying to find the kill. Edward actually finds it onto Smooya, perhaps hanging around a bit too long towards the bathrooms. Ends up giving up his life. Now Farmskins can be retrieved. But luckily enough, Cosmian will be in position to step it up. Finds himself one. Electronic actually takes down at least Robin, but it's going to be going back in favor of Epsilon. 2-on-2, but still with the HP being so low for these final two remaining players, it's going to be very difficult for Navi to try and get anything done. The bomb goes down towards B though. This could be the correct decision. Maybe the bomb plant will at least come in. But now back up towards A. Simple decided to come back in this direction and he loses his life. And now the bomb down all the way towards mid. There's no chance anymore for Navi to get this round unless Electronic somehow finds both kills. And they're just so far apart. There's no chance. He may get Cosmian at least, may get the FAMAS for himself. But that's going to really be it.
Yeah, and this isn't that great for Navi, honestly. Electronic doesn't get the extra money because he survived after time, so he's only going to have $700 in the bank. And sure, he might have the FAMAS, but he's not going to have... Well, I was going to say he's not going to have the support of his team, but Navi now decide to take a gamble here. Because Electronic didn't get any money, they decide to go for the full-on force buy. I'm not sure I like this decision this early on into the game. I feel like Navi should be very confident in their gun rounds, but they're going to delay those gun rounds with this force early on. Zeus with the CZ might come in towards B short, and Navi again are just going to spread across the map. Epsilon just fell off that boost towards B though, so they won't spot out Zeus making his way towards B short. And Navi just going to sit back patiently to start this force buy. And one thing to point out, this very likely will be not unexpected, I guess, from Epsilon's perspective.
They should definitely be aware that it's a possibility for the force buy, considering there was only 2 players who remained alive. They saved 1 player, and yeah, it's just carrying over that from Mass. They decided to try and back it up, and they do have a pretty decent buy overall to actually try and work around with. They have some utility, unlike the previous round. And right now, Epsilon going for actually a fairly heavy SMG buy. A couple of UMPs, an MP9, a FAMAS, and Cosmi, and the only one with the M4. So right now, Navi just getting themselves some map control. Working over towards A. Yeah, we're looking to try and get along. We see 3 players working towards the bathrooms, and Robin, he spots out one, takes a bit of damage there towards Simple. Molotov goes down to ensure that he won't get overwhelmed from 2 different positions, and he just decides to take that fight up against Simple and does end up winning it out. So once again, Epsilon able to take that man advantage, and Navi down in a 4-on-5. What they decide to do this time, they haven't had much success in these past two rounds after losing that opening kill. See if they're going to find it this time. Electronic with the FAMAS, of course, will really be the one we look towards to get most of that damage done.
Yeah, time is ticking down here, 23 seconds, and Electronic finally opens things up for Navi, but he will fall. The FAMAS is recovered by Edward, and he gets a quick headshot, but now he's the only man left. And Smooya is going to double down from the B bomb site. So I think now at this point, Navi just need to make sure they do fairly heavily eco here, just to make sure they get as strong a buy as possible into the next round. They should be feeling, again, as I was saying, very confident with their gun rounds. They are the big favorites here, so I'd just like to see them save as much as possible, and that's exactly what they've done. They've only invested into a few upgraded pistols, and so it looks good for Epsilon to claim an early 4-0 lead.
Yeah, quite likely. Still can't really underestimate the pistols though, especially with the Deagle in the hands of Electronic, Simple, and Edward. But Smooya, he's able to open that up once again, goes aggressive, takes down Edward, who didn't really have anyone in position to try and actually get that trade frag, and because of that, Epsilon, once again for free, take themselves a man advantage. Navi though, let's see what they go for now. They are kind of split up, a couple players over towards the mid position, a couple towards Connector, and they may just try and work together in this group of 4 now to take 1 or 2 kills out of this. If they can drop a couple weapons, keep the economy for Epsilon modest, that would probably be the best case scenario right now, and of course a bomb plant if possible, but it's going to be very difficult to try and actually get in towards the bomb sites. They have made a decision perhaps about where they want to try and take this one, and it seems to be towards B, but 3 players are going to be in position to try and lock this one down, including some utility. Surreal has a Molotov to try and deny the monster push, and now let's see what's going to be found by Navi as they only have 50 seconds remaining.
Yeah, and something that I was going to point out in the pre-game is that I think, sure, Smooya and Smooya and Simple are certainly the big draws for their respective teams. I think it'll be the rest of the players stepping up that will be important for either side, because I think Smooya and Simple are almost guaranteed to go off. Either way, Cosmi going to get a kill out towards B. That boost was spotted, and Simple might be gifted a kill, but Smooya plays it safe. 23 seconds left now, and the push should come in towards B. Cosmin again in position. It's actually Surreal to get the first, and Smooya times the flank to perfection. Another triple kill for him. He is up to 8 frags early on. Good to see him in some good form early. And Na'Vi now will finally get their first buy.
Yeah, and Epsilon actually deciding to keep over a couple of weaker weapons. They have a FAMAS for Chak, they have an MP9 for Surreal. Smooya does upgrade his way towards the AWP, and Simple actually won't have one available. Even after losing 4 rounds in a row, the money bonus wasn't enough to allow for him to get that, or maybe he just didn't want it, but either way, it is just going to be the 5 rifles, and a decent amount of utility also for Na'Vi to work with. They are a very tactical team usually. The way they approach the game is usually quite methodical. They just go for the map control and make late round decisions off of that one, which sometimes does work against them, but right now they are going to be making at least a bit of aggression over towards A-Long. That's just going to be Simple, and once again it is going to be one out by the CT side. Epsilon and allows them to take that one-man advantage, and he even takes down Edward afterwards as that flash works to perfection. And now Nat Spencer with 3 players remaining, they try to make this play, trying to bring it back in their favour. Electronic, but a great headshot onto Smooya. It is going to be what starts this one off now for Na'Vi, but Jack instantly returns it. And now it's all onto Flamey and Zeus to try and clutch out this 2-on-4, and it's not going to be easy by any means. They have at least got some control towards B, but Flamey not expecting that MP9 to be coming from short. Nice damage by Surreal, and the nade chips it away even further. As now Flamey in a really bad position. He's just going to be taken down, and Zeus is the last man standing. His position is known, and he's left to try and clutch out a 1-on-4.
And Cosmin comes in from behind. A nice little 3k for him to warm himself up. And as I was going to say earlier, I think that the sort of second stars will be the most important factor for either side. Cosmin has certainly been inconsistent for Epsilon. However, if he can show up, that gives Epsilon, I think, a real chance at least competing against Na'Vi. You can see Na'Vi have been forced back into a timeout very early on here because they are 5-0 down. And that last round did look a little worrying from Na'Vi, to be honest. They spread out across the map. They tried to work some picks, and it made it quite easy for the CTs to hold it off. And, ooh, look at Smooya. I don't know if this was a purposeful buy, but the AUG is in play. It will go over to Robin. I guess the advantages of the AUG are, number one, at very, very close range, it can be a one-shot headshot. I mean, you have to be right in their face, though, so I don't think it's too relevant. But holding long-range angles, the AUG could be useful, so we'll get to see if that was a purposeful buy or if Robin is just going to take that one because it may have been a misbuy from Smooya.
I'd say if it was a misbuy, he'd probably be happy enough with keeping that. I was gonna say it should be an eco coming in by Na'Vi, but it seems like they will actually go ahead and buy into this one. We see Flamey at least buys up an AK. Seems like Edward's only gonna invest roughly half of his money, as are the rest of the players. Simple doesn't want to really put anything into this one, I guess, wants to make sure that he can get the op out in the following round. He does get a deagle, but still, with the full money bonus, $3,400 will be more than enough to allow for the AWP to come out. So into this one, Na'Vi, they at least have a small bit to work with. They have been at least doing a decent job at keeping the economy of Epsilon fairly low. They've built up to about an average of 5,000 or so, I believe, but 5 rounds in a row, that's not really amazing for Epsilon. So Na'Vi just trying to keep it low now, as they will be just going for a bit of a faster paced round. Rather than holding back and splitting up and losing those open and aim duels, they are just going to group up as 5 and try and make their way in towards the B bomb site. And let's see if they're going to be able to find any success into this one now, as it seems like it will actually be opened up by Chak as he takes down Zeus. Flamey not having any success either with the AK, but as I say that, Smooya, he gets caught as he pushes out forward from heaven, and that smoke not really covering the boost position. Surreal to try and take the fight, and it's actually going to work out in his favour. Even drops the bomb in towards Monster. So far, Na'Vi not really having a lot of luck trying to get their way in towards this D bomb site. Only that one kill by Flamey, and both of his teammates have now been tagged down quite low.
Yeah, a minute left, and Cosmin gets a very quick headshot. Flamey doesn't get the chance to do anything. With that smoke being up, that may allow Electronic to get the gun, but it's only a UMP, and he will fall. Simple, the last man left, also dropped. And, I mean, this is very lackluster from Na'Vi now. 6-0 down. They are finally going to get themselves a buy together with an AWP in the hands of Simple. This is the first time he has been able to get the AWP on this T side. Let's see if that's what he needs to warm himself up, because currently, Simple's down there at 1 kill, 6 deaths. I normally wouldn't point that out, but that's quite uncharacteristic for a player of Simple's level.
Yeah, this level of opponent is what you'd really expect him to shine against. But then again, he hasn't got the op out, perhaps hasn't had the playmaking ability with that AK quite as much. now that he does have it, let's see what he's going to be able to find. But Smoothie has shown confidence once again, opens it up onto Edward by taking him down, and once again the trade not going to be able to come in. They're just too split up. They aren't close enough to be able to find that trade without allowing the CT player to just fall back off and remain alive. And you can see Simple just hoping that perhaps someone on the CT side will over-aggress and give something back for Navi to work with. Because right now Epsilon are doing a great job on the CT side of just adapting, going early on for those aggressive pushes and taking themselves the advantages and then working off of that, making Navi really actually work if they want to try and take the round, not really giving them any opportunities. And so maybe he spotted a couple players on long, happy enough of falling back and just using that flash and leaving a teammate up close now. This is a pretty good position for the Epsilon side. It looks like Navi will focus over towards A long, and they may not expect Surreal to be playing up so close.
Yeah, so again, Epsilon get that opening kill. As he was saying, this setup towards A long, it is somewhat common, and that Molotov makes the damage done. I think that may have been heard by Na'Vi as well, so Surreal could be in trouble. It's Simple to actually get the first frag, and Zeus does come in for the spray down. That is just the A defense completely collapsing for Epsilon. I believe it was Simple who won that AWP fight against Smooya as well. So that was a really important frag to find to be able to open it up. And Na'Vi finally going to get themselves on the board here. That was just a quick explosive push on towards that A site. And that's the Na'Vi I was kind of expecting to see. Just individuals showing up, winning the aim fights. And there wasn't anything Epsilon could really do about that one.
Yeah, much better round into that one by Navi. Finally, some opening kills are going to be going in their favor, and you can see right now Cosmian and Jack, they are just trying to save the economy for Epsilon. It is going to be enough to at least buy into the following round. They'll look to try and maybe reset the economy of Navi, who they themselves are just going to be making sure that they do live with 4 weapons into this one. So I don't really think we'll see them hunting too aggressively. We see they have kind of pushed forward, but they seem to be kind of stopping in their tracks now. Simple not going any further than A long itself, as he doesn't want to allow for the op to be retrieved by Epsilon. And yeah, you see that round does end with 2 players still alive for Epsilon. Because of that, once they reinvest, they should have a small amount of money still left over, and Cosmian able to even drop the AWP to Smooya, so it's still a really strong buy for Epsilon. We've seen them doing a very good job of being able to find those opening kills as mentioned before. Let's see if they're going to be able to do so once again, or if Navi will be finally beginning to step it up on this T side. Perhaps it was just a bit of a slow start for the Ukrainian team. Smooya likes to get aggressive, and you can see he is going to do so once again. And sprints straight up short and through that Molotov. Doesn't really take a lot of damage either. And he is going to be looking to try and find this opening kill now over towards B water as Navi. Looks like they are going to be just going for a very standard default, splitting up. Only 1 player in this position, but Electronic just to find that one onto Smooya and open it up in favour of Navi for what I believe is the first time in this game so far.
Yeah, and I think something else worth pointing out on the Na'Vi side of things is that Electronic generally still has very, very good performances against these sort of lower tier teams. I think that really makes Na'Vi a good choice for being unlikely to be upset for the most part. I think that when Simple and Electronic are going off, this team is almost impossible to deal with, and that certainly could be happening here because Electronic is currently leading the scoreboard for Na'Vi. Either way, 53 seconds left. They're looking to group around A, and Robin just out in the open. I think he was trying to play an off angle there to watch in towards Party. However, he just gets caught from Connector, and that leaves a single player holding A. Cosmine has it all to do. He's going to have 4 players coming towards him, and I don't see if he's going to be able to do it. Cosmine does get the first kill. No trade coming in just yet, and Cosmine certainly will slow this down as he gets a second. Nearly the third, but he's eventually shut down. Either way, back to a 2v2, but Surreal loses in that fight against the AWP. And now it's just Sack left. He's going aggressive with the AWP. He gets the first frag. Now it's a 1v1. Simple just about finds the kill. I don't know how he got that shot through. That was ridiculous. But now he just about get their second.
That round was just pure skill back and forth. We saw Cosmine hitting some nice shots, dropping the bomb, doing a great job at delaying. That allowed Jack to push up forward towards the truck and get himself a nice shot into the player who was trying to plant. And then Simple, I believe twice in a row, he missed a few shots and then just kind of jumped and managed to connect it afterwards. But yeah, this one, Epsilon will be able to buy once again, but they're running a bit low on economy now. They lose this one, likely going to be an eco, and we see the aggressive push once again by Smooya, and he finds it. He's down Flamey, and Edward looking to try and find the trade frag, and Nate does a lot of damage to him, and Smooya has the chance to try and get himself a second, but he doesn't actually hit it, and he will now go back to try and watch Connector, where Electronic is going to be awaiting. But Zeus falls to Robin. Electronic spots out Smooya now, but with a smoke going down, he is just going to be forced back a little bit further for the moment. Surreal even looking to try and get aggressive. They want to try and support Smooya, I guess. He's kind of trapped in towards Connector currently. Not a lot you can do in this position with so many terrorists up on mid. Electronic still holding in connector. This could get still a bit risky right now for Epsilon. It's not like they do have the 2-man advantage, but it's not like they have the position to get all their players just back to the bomb site and to play it safe.
Smooya up close and connected with the... You would think he would be in trouble, however, you never know. Electronic's going to come his way, and indeed does get that frag. So unfortunately for Smooya, only the 1 kill for him this time around. Having said that, it's still the man advantage for Epsilon. Simple's trying to force the issue there. He's not going to get the frag, but Electronic now will push forwards. A very snappy headshot from him, but it's still a 2v3 to play from. But Electronic just hunting down the kills. 3 frags for him in this round now. And with 27 seconds left, Na'Vi are going to creep their way up A long. Simple was lining up the Molotov. Electronic will go in first with the rifle. He's already got 3 frags. He'll be looking for another, but TSAC comes in and sprays them both down. A 3K for him in the round, and Epsilon may have just broken Na'Vi's economy again.
Yeah, you can see right now there's a couple of players who are actually facing a double eco, Edward being one of those. Because of that, he will go ahead and buy up, as will the rest of his teammates. They get the 2 important players, though, with weapons in their hands. Electronic gets an AK, Simple able to get the AWP, and Epsilon still not really building up an economy. So if Na'Vi are actually able to take this one back, then they should be in a really solid position. But of course, having a slight disadvantage right now in terms of the firepower. So let's see what they're going to be able to find in this round. As once again, it seems like they are just going to be sticking with this default, something that you do expect to come out of Na'Vi, just as mentioned before, just slow and methodic, keep control of the map bit by bit, and then make your decision about where you want to go. And right now, Epsilon looks like they have decided to go a little bit more passive in this round. They've put a bit more presence towards B, perhaps expecting to push over towards this side of the map. But right now, they will just be focusing on trying to get control of middle and connector, and likely making their way in towards the toilets. As Simple actually does manage to spot 1 player during the toilets, but he was just jumping, so he wasn't actually able to get any shots off. And Robin, now getting himself a bit of info, just falls back off to play on a bit of a more passive angle with this UMP.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, I was kind of saying earlier, I was expecting both Smooya and Simple to be just consistently showing up for both their teams, but Simple has had a little bit of a slow start here. Still down there at 4 kills, 7 deaths. It's actually Electronic who's been leading the way for Na'Vi. I said that if the second players show up for Na'Vi, they should be good, but not been the case so far. Either way, 40 seconds left. Na'Vi look focused on this A-bomb site. Robin is the first line of defense, and he only has an ump. However, having said that, he may catch them off guard. There's 2 kills for Robin. The UMP sprays them down. And now with 25 seconds left, Na'Vi need to crack this bomb site, and Smooya is still here with the AWP, trying to find an angle. Ooh, he lands the shot, but not quite the frag. Just about stays alive and gets that kill. 33 HP left on towards him, but he's done enough. 10 seconds left, and Na'Vi are already falling back for the save. And well, the rest of the team, again, is going to have very little money to play with, even if these 2 guns are going to be saved.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking for Edward. If he had a rifle there instead of just the deagle, he probably would have had that kill. He tried to spam it, and Smooya just jumping, it didn't end up connecting, and because of that, Smooya was able to take the kill. And if Smooya found the site, likely the T's there would have been able to get on towards it, get the bomb down, and then they would have had a nice 3-on-3. So unlucky for Edward, but yeah, Epsilon able to get themselves another round. Seems like Na'Vi are going to be actually working with a bit of an investment into this one once again. The only person who keeps any form of money is Flamey, so looks like they are opting to try and take the force by. They don't want to allow Epsilon to get themselves too many more rounds on this CT side. As once again, they continue on with this aggression. Smooya, he looks to try and find an opening kill. This time he won't be able to find it, and after that he does just want to fall back off. Doesn't want to risk being overwhelmed, doesn't want to risk getting rushed down by the pistols. I don't think they're really aware whether it's the full buy yet or not. As right now, Na'Vi just continuing on with that default. Some presence being put towards B, some presence in connector, and just Edward holding A really passively, so it doesn't really... I'm not really sure right now what they're looking to go for in this one. Of course, they only have the UP and the AK to try and work the picks, so I guess they're trying to focus those on the B side of the map mostly. Simple right now, he's going to be actually in towards the B bomb site, just playing in towards water with that AWP, but he's not really actively looking for a pick currently.
And generally, it's Smooya who gets aggressive for Epsilon, but this time Cosmine finds a couple of players in the back. There's the first kill, easy spray downs, and Cosmine finds 2 opening kills. It isn't the AK or AWP lost, but it's still a 2-man advantage for Epsilon to work with. And I'm quite surprised that Cosmine got so aggressive there, because he had almost no support from his teammates. If he would have gone down, then the A site could have been vulnerable, but nonetheless, it works out. And now there are 4 players stacked towards B for Epsilon. And again, Na'Vi, they've run down the clock, but they're just going to run straight into the stack. Electronic, very quick opening headshot, but Robin is still here. The flash comes in. He's going to shut down Zeus. The trade comes out, but Smooya in towards water is going to make it happen. Another 2K for him. Epsilon now 9-2 up, and they should have forced Na'Vi back to an eco. And you can see Na'Vi having to take a pause. So while we have this time, while we have a little bit of a downtime in the game, I'm going to quickly bring up the giveaway we currently have running here on eFrag. If you subscribe to the channel on Twitch, you will be entered to win a flip knife blue steel field tested. Very nice knife. If you want to enter, just subscribe on Twitch. That will be drawn on Sunday after the final of this tournament. And other than that, back into the action where Na'Vi are going to have a very limited buy here. And this is really incredible that Epsilon have been able to get such a lead.
Yeah, 9-2. This is not what I was expecting. As we started this game, I said that likely Na'Vi should be taking over past what he is. I was saying Epsilon maybe to reach 8 or so rounds. I didn't think they'd reach double digits, which is looking extremely likely right now. And with Cobblestone being kind of the best map we've seen from Epsilon lately, if Na'Vi do lose this one, they could be in danger of getting 2-0'd.
Yeah, exactly. Cobblestone, the last time these two teams played, was very close. And if Simple continues to not perform, if the rest of the team continues to not show up individually, then this could absolutely be dangerous for Na'Vi. This could be a 2-0. And remember, if Na'Vi do lose this series, they have no chance of getting to Katowice. This is the last chance qualifier for every team involved. And that would be pretty painstaking for Na'Vi, I think. They would have been favorites heading into this one. Either way, Flamey's going to get dropped early on. Again, just pistols for Na'Vi. I don't really know, like, considering they've just taken a timeout, I don't know why Flamey is alone towards B short while the rest of his team sit back. Like, something just kind of feels off with Na'Vi here today, I kind of feel like.
I think the hope for Flamey there was that he'd be able to make a bit of presence on B to take some focus from the A side of the map. They were hoping perhaps that once again Smooya would go aggressive towards middle and maybe no one would be pushing forward on B. But there we go, Electronic at least brings one back. He does take down Robin with the Deagle. As you mentioned, Electronic has been the player for Na'Vi so far who has really stepped it up in these rounds that they've been able to take, albeit only 2 of them. All right, now Epsilon in a 4-on-4. They lost 1 pick, but Surreal, he looks to try and go aggressive once again. Pushes forward. What's Electronic? Can't to get that kill for himself, and it could get a bit dangerous as he is going to be pushed up. He doesn't really have too much support other than Cosmian back on the bomb site, but still going to be working out. Surreal shuts this one down. Cosmian chimes him at 1. Now it's all onto Simple, and he only has a Glock to work with. Surreal eventually closes that one out, and Epsilon do get themselves that 10-2 lead. As it is going to be double digits, and Na'Vi, they should be getting back onto the buy now.
And if you have just joined us and you're wondering if this scoreline is correct, yes, I can confirm Epsilon are currently 10-2 up on Na'Vi's map pick. However, now Na'Vi finally have a buy back into their hands. And to be honest, this almost, I mean, it's not a must-win round, but it almost kind of feels like it at this point. They should probably be wanting 4 or 5 rounds to realistically have a chance on their CT side. So Na'Vi will put a lot of weight into this round. They are going to be holding back to start things off. And for what it's worth, again, Smooya is getting aggressive with the AWP. He's pushing it through connector. I mean, Smooya, whatever you want to say about him, he's certainly got balls. I'll give him that.
Yeah, certainly, and especially being able to do it against players on this level. I believe they mentioned on the desk that he tweeted out that they were confident that they could get the win, and right now he's shown that confidence for sure. It wasn't empty words, there was definitely meaning behind them, as right now Na'Vi focusing towards A long. Robin, he gets very aggressive, not really going to work out in his favour. Didn't expect Edward to already be positioned up close. Because of that, Na'Vi get themselves the opening pick. We've seen this a couple times in the half already. Sometimes they've been able to capitalise, but a lot of the time also Epsilon with that aggression have been able to pull it back. But Simple, he chimes in with 1 now. Cosmian gets 1 for himself, as does Chak. And now we're back into a 3-on-3, but Electronic, as he lurks out onto this B bomb site, he should be able to find this for free. It's all up to whether Surreal can actually get this kill himself, as no, it won't work out. Electronic with another B bomb site under the control of Natus Vincir, as it is just going to be Chak and Cosmian, and they have to try and get themselves this retake, and they will both be looking to try and come in from the CT position, at least to see him sticking together. But right now, the bomb has to try and get across for Na'Vi, which is going to be difficult, but Zeus, out of all players, Zeus will be the one to step it up and find that quick double headshot.
There we go. Na'Vi finally getting another round together. Electronic there towards B, certainly, again, getting some snappy headshots. And I think what was really important there was, I believe Simple may have made some steps on the flank. Or sorry, Smooya may have made some steps on the flank, so Simple could just turn around, take his head off, and that meant that Smooya's ult didn't have the impact in that round. Either way, into round 14, it's still a bye for Epsilon. But if Na'Vi win this round here, they're going to force Epsilon down to a poor bye into the last round of the half. So this could be a decent chance for Na'Vi to get themselves back into the game. If they can win this round, they should be heavily favored to take a 5th and close out the half with at least a somewhat sort of playable T side. And at the early stages here, neither side really going for any aggression. We've seen Smooya play very aggressively with the AWP previously. This time around, he's holding a little bit further back, but he's still holding a little bit of an aggressive angle out towards A long.
Yeah, this is an interesting angle. It could work out in his favor, but he's not actually going to be able to connect the shot there. He is going to be forced to fall back off, and that'll allow Simple to get the control. Actually, I believe he may have just about connected that shot and actually got some damage, so nice find. Either way, Simple is down to 19. Early on, a slight HP advantage is going to be in favor of Epsilon, but as Na'Vi just commit to this B bomb site, it is now going to be Epsilon having to try and hold this one down. Smooya, he's actually only up on A, so there is going to be 4 players in position. One who could rotate back down through connector. Robin has the possibility of a flank, and Cosmian finding that opening kill onto Electronic is a good start into this round for Epsilon, as it's looking even better now. Edward, he steps it up to at least find one. Surreal on the bomb site is going to be able to find himself actually a quick double spray down, leaving it all onto Zeus now to try and clutch it out. And Robin finally able to capitalise on that flank and take him down. And Epsilon get themselves up to 11. That is from Sir Na'Vi. Their economy has been completely reset, but they will have to buy, of course.
So heading into the last round of the half, it is going to Epsilon still with a very strong buy, as you would expect, but Na'Vi having a couple of pistols in the mix. And here we go. Let's see if Na'Vi can at least get it with 2 AKs. Smooya peeking in towards mid, but Simple just taps off his head. A couple of rounds now, Simple has been able to get the better of Smooya, and in the meantime, Robin just straight up peeks connector into 3 players. So that's going to be another rifle lost and another rifle gained for Na'Vi. 5v3 now, and surprisingly enough, it's looking good for them here as a little bit of a switch-up happens. Simple's going to get the AWP, and Na'Vi now might just be able to get a 4th round at the end of this half.
Yeah, looking quite likely. Seems like they will just group up and try and take over the B-bomb site together. It is only going to be able to leave 1 player towards this position. That's Surreal, so if Na'Vi just go in as 5, it's unlikely Surreal's going to be able to hold this one down, especially only with a UMP. 1 minute does still, of course, remain. Epsilon not really fully aware that it's going to be the push immediately towards B, but as Flamey finds the kill onto Surreal through the door, that should give them a bit of an idea. We see Chak rotating in to try and hold this one down, but still not looking so good for Epsilon. 2 on 5. Cosmin getting aggressive on A, may be able to actually catch this bomb off guard though as it comes back in this direction. This could get a bit scary. 40 seconds remain, so they're not really in too much trouble in terms of the time, but still, it could get a bit awkward if the bomb gets dropped out in the open. We see Cosmin able to take a couple of kills as he gets 1. Simple, we'll be able to trade that one back though, and now Chak finally rotating back up from the B-bomb site. He may get into position in time at least, as it seems like Na'Vi will go ahead and slow this one down, but they're actually going to go back towards B once again, so Epsilon getting completely faked out currently. Na'Vi just going back and forth from either side, and it just works out perfectly. Edward finds the final kill, and Na'Vi do get that 4th round.
There we go, at least something to work with for Na'Vi. Pistol is still going to be effectively a must-win for them. You can see at the half as well, just taking a quick look at the scoreboard, it's Cosmin leading the way for Epsilon. He's been a little bit quiet, I guess, to be honest, in terms of the way he's got his kills, but clearly he's just been consistently showing up for the team, consistently fragging, and even if, you know, the way you're getting the kills are quiet, just finding a solid 1 or 2 kills every round really makes a massive difference. So certainly seeing Cosmin perform well is part of the reason why Epsilon have been able to get out to this lead. And heading into the second half, it's all down to this pistol for Na'Vi. This is, well, I would say a must-win, but Na'Vi certainly have the potential to do damage with Deegs if they lose this. Still, though, they'll be looking to win the pistol to give themselves the best chance.
Yeah, if they take the pistol, they'll be in a pretty solid position. It is a map that's usually slightly biased towards the CT side, so if they pick that one up, it will be looking decent. As now coming into this one, let's see if it is going to go in favour of Na'Vi indeed, or will Epsilon continue to increase that lead even further. Once again, it is going to be Robin to pick up a utility. Zeus gets the defuse kit, and right now Epsilon looks like they will be sending a few players up over towards the A position and maybe down through connector. They just leave Smooya to make sure that no flanks are going to come in fast from Monster, as it is going to be actually a pretty passive round so far by Epsilon, perhaps expecting an aggressive push to come out from Na'Vi. not right now. It's only really Edward that goes forward. Pushes up on A long, looking to try and find that, and he pushes towards middle by the terrorist side. But it seems like now with Epsilon not being able to counter some aggression towards A, they will try and go back towards B. And Smooya, he hits a great shot onto Simple with that P250 at long range. That was a very nice find, as now Navi once again going to be left in a 4-on-5, and Edward doing his best to try and bring this one back. He's going to be able to take a couple kills for himself as he takes down both Shaq and Surreal, but Cosmin with the trade will equalise the situation once again in terms of manpower.
Yeah, this pistol started out exactly the same as the one from the first half. Smooya picking off Simple. However, this time around, Na'Vi bring it back to a 3v3 thanks to Edward. The push has come out through B. Electronic, here's the steps. He could do damage here. Just about gets the first. There's the second. And Electronic manages to get the bomb and 2 frags. That leaves Smooya all alone in a 1v3. He has got the P250. He's going to go pushing towards Electronic, who is still alone, but Smooya, for some reason, turns his back. Doesn't expect Electronic's angle, and an impressive 3k for Electronic wins that all-important pistol.
Yeah, just great work by Electronic to bring that one back, and a Simple like Smooya wasn't really aware of the position. I guess that is a positive of having that silenced USP. But no bomb plants coming in for Epsilon. They will decide to force buy into this one. Everyone except for Smooya, of course, who wants to make sure that he can get the op out in the first gun round. Has gone over towards mid right now. It will be Simple with the scout. He gets the tag onto Robin. He gets the kill currently, but some nice damage early on done in favour of Navi. Now Epsilon, it seems like they are going to be playing a little bit more aggressive than we've seen from Navi on their T side. They're definitely trying to rush down these players a bit faster, trying to get up close range with these pistols and overwhelm the CT defence. It is going to be towards toilets now, where Epsilon take themselves some control, and Edward just playing up close with this MP9. He is in a pretty solid position. He needs to have some support from his teammates though, as we do see Robin creeping his way up short and finding that opening kill onto Zeus, and he gets a second on Simple. Edward, luckily enough, will be able to trade one out, but still a man advantage going to be in favour of Epsilon as they make their way onto the A bomb site. Now support will finally be coming in, and Edward actually in a great position here to try and cut off the rotate up through connector. Takes down Surreal, and now back into it. Oh, Cosme, and I was going to say back into a 3-on-3, but once again another player falls from the Navi side as trades continuously go back and forth. So it's just been a very back and forth round so far. Epsilon, they have the bomb, they have control of the A bomb site, but it looks like right now they're going to be looking to might try and maybe find one kill before they go for the bomb plant. It seems they want to try and force the 2-on-1, and it is going to actually work out for them. Shaq finds Electronic, and that opens up access to the B bomb site now.
Well then, Epsilon, with just the pistols, might be able to pull this one off. Edward only has the MP9 in play, and no defuse kit to speak of, at least at the moment. He's going to come around through towards Heaven. Edward makes the steps, and Sack spots him out. So Epsilon win the force straight back at Na'Vi. And now you can see Na'Vi, they are going to go for the force buy, but it doesn't look great for them. The CZ bought by Zeus, the rest of the team are also only going to get pistols. And, I mean, we said winning the pistol round was going to be important for Na'Vi, but if they're going to lose to the second round force buy, then it doesn't really matter too much, because now Epsilon are certainly in position where they could just come out to an insurmountable lead if they can just shut down Na'Vi in this very round.
Yeah, that's going to be a very solid position for Epsilon indeed, because if they're to lose this one, Navi either go for an force buy or go for an eco, and then Epsilon are going to be likely able to reach their way to 14. But Edward, he gets aggressive early on, has the dig, doesn't have Kevlar to back it up. Going to find that opening kill, as he will for now just fall back off, realising that there's too many opponents for him to try and face off against on his own. But Zeus, look at this aggressive push. He's able to get a lot of control over towards B. Surreal, he's going to get forced back into a bit more of a passive position, and Simple over towards A-Long is able to connect the shots with the dig. Takes one before it is going to be Zeus finally traded out over towards the B monster position, and Epsilon looks like they may just try and commit in towards B, but for now the bomb, it is going to be left behind. They notice out that aggression also in towards the B water position, and because of that it looks like they will indeed just commit out of monster, and that's a nice find by Surreal. Takes down Flamey. Electronic last line of defense on this bomb site currently, as his teammates will begin to rotate in. Playing on a nice position, at least playing above the smoke up on top of the bomb site, but Smooya with the AK spamming away. A bit of an iffy spray, doesn't really manage to get too much damage connected, and Electronic is still in such a great position on the bomb site. The bomb will be getting planted, but he pushes forward, denies it on Cosmin. Smooya luckily enough returns as he gets himself a second onto Simple. The one tap comes in, and now it's all onto Edward. As mentioned before, doesn't have the Kevlar to try and back up his Deagle. And even with finding one more kill, he will eventually be taken down by Smooya, and that allows Epsilon now to take that 13-5 lead.
Ooh, very clean round from Smooya, getting himself triple. I think he just tapped the player in towards Heaven, and that makes it happen for Epsilon. They're up 13-5. And now Edward is going to have the one rifle, but Na'Vi still with a somewhat lackluster buy. Either way, while we have a brief moment, I quickly want to mention the sponsors of this tournament, Farmskins, and thank them for sponsoring. We do see a quick fight though. Edward loses that rifle. That's basically any chance at the round gone for Na'Vi unless these pistol players can step up, because that M4 is lost. And in the meantime, the connector fight goes the way of Smooya. He tries to tap off the head, but takes a lot of damage. Simple in the meantime has looked on form with the Desert Eagle. The push is going to come in, but Simple is taken down. It's Electronic and Flamey left, and it looks likely that Epsilon are going to take their 14th. And as I was saying earlier, quick thanks to Farmskins, the main sponsor of this tournament. They've got their winter sales on, as well as just a lot of other stuff on their site, bonuses, so make sure to check out Farmskins. Thanks to them for sponsoring this tournament. And other than that, Epsilon look like they're on the verge of upsetting Na'Vi in this first map.
Yeah, and let's see if they go for the force play. Looks like they will indeed go for it. They don't want to play for overtime. They didn't want to allow Epsilon to get themselves a map point. While we have a moment, I'm going to go ahead and say something else. I'm going to let you guys know that there is a giveaway currently being done on this channel. All you have to do is enter subscribe, and the prize is a Flip Knife Blue Steel field tested. If you want to get yourself in, as a reminder, once again, you just have to subscribe, and it will be given away on Sunday after the grand finals of the Farmskins Championship number 2. But right now, looks like Epsilon will be gone for a fairly fast round. They're just committing immediately in towards B. Surreal takes one. That's the Smooya. Now it's going to be Flamey trying to get some work done with the UMP, but one, it won't be enough in this situation. It's already fallen all across the map as Epsilon gain control of the B-bomb site, and they take themselves a 2-man advantage in the process.
And a 2v4 retake feels most impossible at this point. Robin's going to take the fight towards Heaven, struggling to connect with the shots. In the meantime, Edward has pushed close, and he does get the one kill. However, in comes the trade. There's just no time. And Epsilon, I think they're going to do it. They're going to steal away this first map by the looks of things. And this is just incredibly surprising. We haven't really seen Epsilon play Overpass too often, yet they've come out incredibly strong here. And I feel like this is in part due to Na'Vi underperforming at the start of the game, but you've got to give credit to Epsilon. They've also stepped up. Smooya's continued his aggression, which I really like to see. I thought he might shut it down against sort of a big name team like Na'Vi, but he's kept it up, and it's worked really well for Epsilon.
Yeah, right now Na'Vi just seems like they've been getting out-aimed throughout the entire game. They haven't been winning out these aim duels like you would expect of players on this caliber, and it's just not working out for them so far, as you can see. Currently behind by 10 rounds. They will be, of course, forced to buy into this one. Yeah, at least a FAMAS and a couple of UMPs, but to try and actually back that one up, it's only an MP9 for Edward once again, and Zeus relegated down to the CZ. Right now, Epsilon playing this one safe. They know they only need one more round. They are just going to be holding back and waiting to see if Na'Vi go for any perhaps desperate plays to try and somehow bring this round in their favour, as they do seem to realise that nothing's really happening from Na'Vi. They begin to push forward. Smooya spots that one player over towards long, and I don't think he's aware Edward is in this position, as Edward does push forward, gets himself that kill, and now should be able to upgrade towards the AK-47, and he may be able to find another, but he won't be able to connect the shots as Cosmian brings it back into an equal situation once again.
Yeah, 4v4 to play from, but Epsilon will be grouping up. And it's always awkward to play 4v4s on the CT side, because you can see they just have 2 players on A and 2 players on B. That means the rotation is quite long between the sites, and it's quite difficult to hold off against 5 players pushing towards you when you've only got 2. Having said that, a couple of kills go the way of Na'Vi, but the trades are coming back. Sack and Surreal left to try and get this win for Epsilon. 22 seconds. They look to have the B site, but they're also tentative to try and get the bomb down, and that allows Simple to go aggressive. The UMP running and gunning for that second frag. Na'Vi keep themselves alive, but they are certainly still on life support.
Yeah, but Epsilon, they can still get a buyout. We see a couple of players, I believe, are a bit low on money, but they should be able to drop over all the rifles. They should even, I believe, get the AWP payout into Smooya, and there you go, he is able to get that one. So, Simple not having one to work with. He'll just be on the AK, of course. He may still look to try and go for this aggressive peek, it seems. He's definitely confident on the rifle. And a nade going down from either side is going to put a bit of damage in favour of the, not the Spencer, the Na'Vi side, as Robin, Jack, and Cosmian take a small amount from the grenades early on. And it seems like Na'Vi are happy enough with just cancelling that aggression now. After the flashes and the nades went down, they just fell back. Surreal almost able to get that kill there onto Flamey, spamming through the monster smoke, brings them down to 36. As right now, it is just going to be Epsilon continuing on with his default, which looks to kind of focus on that control over towards the A side of the map.
Yeah, Robin going to make his way up Hector as well. Simple is going to spot through a gap in this smoke. That could be a slight mistake from Epsilon. Doesn't look like Simple is going to stick around, though. He doesn't want to risk playing so close, so he decides to fall back and re-smoke himself. By the way, Simple's going to stay in towards bathrooms, and he doesn't necessarily have the support he would need. Zeus is back on the site, so if Simple were to get pushed on, he may be in trouble, but then again, this is Simple we're speaking about. He does get the 1 kill before the trade comes through. So a 1-for-1 trade early on, not awful for Na'Vi, but now Edward, looking to capitalize, also finds a frag of his own. With 35 seconds left, Epsilon are going to have to push shortly.
Yeah, they need to get a move on, and it looks like they will be forced towards the A bomb site as the bomb going towards A long doesn't have the time to wrap back anymore. And Edward, if he wins out this fight, it's going to be looking very dire for Epsilon indeed, but he's not going to be able to get that instantly, and now he may get overwhelmed from long. We see 2 players making their way up. They know Edward is in this corner. They have utility to use. The Molotov goes down. They use it perfectly, but only 10 seconds remains now, as I don't think they're going to have time anymore. They've just left it too long. Electronic just spamming away, and there we go. The bomb drops. I don't think they had time either way, but Jack is the last man standing now, needs to make sure he stays alive and doesn't die after time. He even takes Zeus down in the process, as thankfully that smoke is down on the ground to allow him to just hide. And Na'Vi get themselves a 7th round. 8 more needed to try and force this into overtime. And it looks like they will actually call for a pause. I'm not sure if this is another attack from Na'Vi or if it's a technical one. But I guess if it was tactical, perhaps the fact that they have... Oh, it is tech. Okay, they have TS problems. So, yeah, it still gives them a bit of time to talk over. They're not really going to have a great buy into this round due to only living with a couple of players. So just need to try and close this one out as Epsilon once again look to try and buy into this one.
Yeah, and I just feel as though with the skill that's on Epsilon, they certainly have players that could step up and win a round at any moment. If Smooya goes aggressive and just gets 1 or 2 opening picks, that alone could be enough, and Cosmine has also been performing really well. So it's going to be just such a tough ride for Na'Vi to be able to come back into this game. Having said that, they do have the buy on their side, of course. As you would expect, they are going to buy for the rest of this game. There's just no other option for them. They're 15-7 down, so it will still be a buy for them. But more importantly, it's the Epsilon side that might be in trouble if they lose this round. They could be forced back down to Eco, and that is exactly what Na'Vi needs. To make this comeback easier, forcing Epsilon down to a fair few Ecos could make the scoreline closer. So that's really the main aim for Na'Vi at this point. Make sure you break that economy, and then just play it round by round.
Yeah, but what I more meant about the economy into this round for Na'Vi is that they only won with a couple players alive in the previous round, so because of that they don't get the up out on the Simple. They are just going to be stuck still onto the rifles, and Simple, of course, he wants that to actually try and take that fight up against Smooya, because Smooya right now is sitting 22-13 on the scoreboard, and he's only behind Cosmine, who's also been having a great performance. It's been mentioned a couple times that Cosmine, at the beginning at least of this lineup, he wasn't really showing exactly what everyone knew he was capable of, but right now he's stepping up massively against Na'Vi, and because of that they lead by 8 rounds. It's going to be a long road ahead for Na'Vi to try and actually get this comeback, and of course now, let's see if Epsilon are going to be able to get anything done with this force buy.
Here we go, around finally coming into play. We did a little bit of talking about it, and Smooya, as was pointed out, is the only one with an AWP in this round. So if he can take some long-range fights, he should feel confident in being able to win them. Although Epsilon might not be 100% sure whether Na'Vi have an AWP or not. Nonetheless, Electronic might look to get aggressive, and indeed, he peeks on the back of the smoke. That's quite a nice play there, because that smoke being deployed obviously makes a sound, so he can just peek off the back of it, and I don't think the player on the other side, Robin, was expecting to be caught off guard there. He wasn't expecting a push to come in with that smoke being deployed. So a really nice little way to get the opening. Na'Vi, again, off to a man advantage. Exactly what they would have been looking for.
Yeah, definitely. Robin getting taken down. And now Epsilon, they still have a lot of time to work with, at least that is a positive. They aren't going to be in too much of a rush to commit towards a bomb site. They can still try and actually work the picks. And Smooya with the up there, spotting out a player over towards the truck. The jump the second time, not going to be in the open, but as Edward once again goes for that to try and get the info, he will be taken down. And Epsilon now equalising the situation into a 4-on-4. This does tend to favour the T side. Na'Vi now are going to have to slightly thin their defence. It's going to be spread a little bit more thinly, as it is going to be 4 players to try and hold down both bomb sites. And you can see right now they are going to be just going for a fairly standard 2 towards either side, and you know, leading the way with this AWP to try and find the opening kill, and he may be able to catch Simple off guard. He spots the first player, that's Zeus. Simple though able to find a headshot and takes down Cosmine. Even drops the bomb out on A long. It's surreal. Luckily enough does find that trade, and now Flamey returns it once again. I was going to say it's going to be a 2-on-2, but Surreal left now alone to try and clutch this one out. He goes for the fake plant, looks to try and take that fight and try and get the 1 versus 1, but he will be taken down, and Navi get themselves up to 8.
Yeah, and Epsilon so far have been going fairly slowly with most of their rounds. They've been waiting until around 30 seconds left to eventually go for the pushes. This is a chance, though, to switch things up. If they want to go for some aggression, now is a round where they could certainly attempt it, because they only have pistols. They don't really have anything to lose. And here we go. We are going to head into round 24, a round that Na'Vi should be able to win quite easily. Having said that, Robin somehow wins that opening fight, down to 3 HP, but he comes out on top. In the meantime, Flamey's going to tap away for the trade, but Simple also in position with his AWP. So it looks as though Na'Vi have managed to recover the round. It's going to be a 4v2 advantage that they will almost certainly close out.
Yeah, and finally a pause being called by Epsilon. It's about time. They are letting this get a little bit closer. Once Navi gets up to about 12 or so rounds, Epsilon will really begin to get scared, and that's where the experience and just the amount of times that Navi have been in positions where they're down like this will really begin to benefit them. You can see now they get their way up to 9. Epsilon, they didn't buy into that one. They will now have the gun round coming out, and I think this is definitely a great time to just go for this tactical pause, talk over it, try and really get the most out of these rifles.
Yeah, we'll get to see what it looks like for Epsilon, because I don't think it will include an AWP, which is something that Simple has the option to play with, and indeed will pick up. So we'll get to see Simple, again, with the AWP in his hands, which is, I think, what Na'Vi really do need, because Simple certainly has been stepping up in these recent rounds since he has been able to get that AWP. As you were pointing out, I think this is a good sort of time for Epsilon to take that time out. They still got 6 rounds left. They only need to win 1 of them to steal away Na'Vi's map pick here. And as we were saying previously, Cobblestone, we think, is the map which Epsilon would have had the highest chance of being able to win. Last time these two teams played on Cobblestone, that was only a 16-13 win for Na'Vi. So certainly chances for Epsilon in this series, but right now they need to focus on Overpass. They've lost 4 rounds in a row. Now is their chance to try and close out the win right here, right now, in this 25th round.
Yeah, and it's actually vice versa now, reversed completely from the previous round. That's going to be Simple now that has the op. Smoothie going to be stuck down to the AK-47. As Epsilon into this round, there seems to be an extremely passive default. They are working quite aggressively over towards B, but the fact that they're just completely giving up mid right now gives a lot of info to Navi. They're able to go aggressive spy with no one, and that should allow now for a bit of a gamble to be sent back towards B with all the presence that they've heard. They know that a lot of the players for Epsilon are over in this position. You can see right now Epsilon just looking to try and find this opening kill. So yeah, he is the one once again leading the way. Doesn't have the op this time as mentioned before, but he does still have the AK-47, and if you're able to connect those headshots, it can still be extremely lethal. Apologies, I don't know what happened there, but yeah, it's going to be a difficult one still for Epsilon. Looks like they will just try and execute towards the B bomb site, something we haven't really seen so far throughout this game. But immediately not really going to be going in their favour. Electronic gets 1, able to take down a second before eventually falling. It's actually Flamey to get that one, as Electronic does still remain, already has fallen rather, but Flamey was the one to take that second kill, and the bomb now should be going down 3-on-3, and actually Navi in really good positions. They already have a player down in the pit. They haven't actually been completely backed off at his site, and you can see because of this Epsilon, they're kind of forced into taking these fights. Smoothie gets himself one onto Edward, and he looks to continue trying to actually get these, and that's a bit of a mistake perhaps. Gives that kill away to Zeus. And now in a 2-on-2, this retake getting a little bit easier for Navi. They still have some utility remaining. Smoke placed down nicely on the bomb. Hits the flick on towards Robin. He won't get the second on the Cosmian though. And with Zeus being low HP and the time beginning to tick away, this gets very, very difficult. As it may be finally the 16th round for Epsilon, and it is indeed going to be Cosmian. He closes that one out, and we will now be going back to the analyst desk.